welcome back. It's Laura. Thanks for joining me today. It is super hot, y'all. It's like 85 right now, super early in the morning, and we are at like the beginning of a heat wave here in Connecticut, and I think like everywhere else too. It's supposed to be like almost like 100 degrees this week, so it's gonna be a hot one. So I thought we would get the June garden tour in before the heat really sets in today. I don't know how it's gonna affect everything, if they're all just gonna like be so sad. So let's have a look around while everything is looking good. And it is looking super beautiful right now. I am very happy with the garden. I love it. If you're new here, we are in Zone 6, Connecticut, and let's just go. Let's go. Okay, so we'll start back here. I don't think we're gonna do the front yard this time, just because, you know, I tend to ramble a bit, and this is probably gonna be long anyway. So let's just start right here, since this is, I think you guys know, pretty much my favorite area of the garden. And it is June 20 something, and I still have pansies. So isn't that awesome? I haven't really been deadheading them either, and usually I do. You should. But I haven't really been doing that. And then I have alyssum here. The white ones I started from seed this year, and the purple ones all came back from last year. So they are all self-seeded. And they're gorgeous. I told you guys I wanted to have lots and lots of alyssum this year, and I do, and it's still not enough. Still not enough alyssum. And the purple is a beautiful scabiosa that needs to be deadheaded. I'm way behind on the deadheading because I've been weeding a lot. There's a lot of weeding to get done also because we had a lot of rain. I did plant a crepe myrtle here at the end of the season last year. I don't think it's coming back. Usually I think they start to emerge by now. We had a really rough winter, and they are technically a Zone 7 plant, I believe, so I don't think it's coming back, unfortunately. I do also have some petunias in here as well, but they haven't bloomed yet. I actually don't know what color they are. I started them from seed, but I have a bunch that I started from seed, and they're all kind of different, so we'll see when they bloom. And then I have some agastache over here, which is just like my favorite smell, so I like to keep it close to the door. And more alyssum, more alyssum. And in the rock garden, I mostly have this creeping Jenny. That's the bright yellow that you see. And then I have a couple of different sedums in here. I have blue spruce sedum. I have some alyssum. This is a variegated sedum that I picked up last year that's absolutely gorgeous. And then I have this stone crop sedum as well. And there's a few hardy geraniums in here. This alyssum that's in my mushroom, it was looking great up until yesterday. The heat hit it really hard, and it just doesn't hold on to a lot of water. I think I need to switch this to more like sedums, kind of like the rock garden, because it's just not getting enough water. Let's have a quick look at the containers before we swing around to the other side, which is more sunny right now. I really pack it in, you know that, you guys know that about me. So I got a bunch of stuff in here. And also I have an earwig problem. These are supposed to be pumpkin on a stick that I started from seed. It's like a type of eggplant, but it looks like a little pumpkin. Then I have some petunias in here, some creeping Jenny, and some more alyssum. And I have my cup and saucer vine, which look at what an awesome start it's off to. It is already up here on both sides. They're gonna join up soon. This is very exciting. This is what I wanted. I have two, you can see these two beautiful purples are Supertunia Bordeaux, which is my favorite Supertunia. And then I have this beautiful black petunia, which is just called a black velvet. Love it. And this is a Supertunia white that I got at Walmart on clearance for $2. So I got like 5 of them. They had so many. And right here is one of those Starry Skies petunias. This is a burgundy one, but I love the way they look together. And this is a sea holly. These grew really fast from seed this time. Last year I didn't have this much luck with them, so I didn't know they were gonna get this big, but they're doing fine so far. I have another one that's about to bloom that I will show you. And then in this container, I have more, pretty much the same stuff as the other one. These are the pumpkin on a stick again. Then I have petunias and alyssum and the cup and saucer vine, which is going way up there. So exciting. What isn't looking good is this. I just trimmed it all back because it was getting really overgrown. We got chased off by a bee, but I was trying to say that a lot of the petunias that I started from seed, some of them are like super tall before they get blooms on them, and other ones are kind of like starting like tight, which I prefer. But these ones in the, whatever you call it, window basket, they were just so tall and they hadn't bloomed yet, so I just cut them back. But right now it's looking pretty scraggly. Let's swing around to this side where the Cauldron planter is looking amazing. Probably a little bit too much. I need to trim it back a bit. But the alyssum has filled out like crazy. Like, this is pretty much what I've been wanting it to do, is just look like a lot of like foaming bubbles. And I think that it finally does. And then the creeping Jenny is oozing out as my ooze. And the celosia, it's getting there. It's getting there. They really like the heat, so they'll like this week for sure. And you can see how my lettuce that I planted in there, it took in some spots but not in others. And in front here, it's starting to really fill in quite a bit. The ageratum seedlings are starting to pop up from last year. There's so many of them, you guys. I know that they're really good self-seeders, but if you don't like pulling weeds, it might not be the best choice for an annual, because they really self-seed like crazy. I'm talking thousands. Anyway, some of them I have left because I do like them. So this is an ageratum. That's what they look like. But then we have some of the Serious Blue Salvia is really filling in. And my bachelor's buttons are finally starting to bloom. Here's one that's like, sort of. They're like just, oh, here's one down here that has a bloom on it. There we go. And these are the black ones. You can see they're really like a dark purple red color. And then I do have more bachelor's buttons planted up here, but they're further behind. But I think we'll go this way and then swing around so we don't keep getting my shadow. So let's go this way. This is my oak leaf hydrangea, ruby slippers. And this is the most that she has ever bloomed. I think this is like her fifth year, fourth or fifth. This plant, I mean, look at it. It's gorgeous. Usually I get maybe like 7 or 8 blooms. There's got to be, what, 30 at least? 40? I don't know. There's a million. And look how beautiful they are. They're not totally bloomed out yet. They're just like, oh my God. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And this plant will turn beautiful colors in the fall. I think this is about as big as it will get. It's supposed to get 5 by 5. It's one of the smaller oak leaf hydrangeas. But I wouldn't mind if it even got bigger. I love it. Moving on. Over on this side, this is a little evergreen that I picked up at the beginning of the season. And I love it. I can't remember the name of it right now. But it was $30 at Home Depot. And it's so cute. And I just have some petunias from seed down here. Some creeping Jenny that's a little bit out of control. I need to tame that a bit. I know it can take over. And I have 2 of these heucheras. They get a little bit too much sun, so they get faded. But I don't really mind. This one's called Carnival Watermelon. Same over here. And up on the arch I have a climbing hydrangea. And she's looking beautiful. And just over here is this gorgeous eclipse hydrangea that I got from last year. So this is only her 2nd season, but she looks beautiful. Look how gorgeous. All bloomed out, and the leaves are so dark. This is so pretty. I'm obsessed with this plant. I need to have more of these. I need more. This is what I'm talking about with the petunias. Look how long they are. They only just started blooming like today. They're so tall. I know I have way too many in here. But I started them from seed and I just overcrowded it, I guess. Same thing. This is what I do. More alyssum and petunias in this one. And then my little hanging situation. These dry out so fast, so it's hard to keep things alive in here. But this is a dichondra with my little fairy. Some creeping Jenny in that one. Another petunia. Supertunia white. And then this one here is called a spoon tomato. They're supposed to be really tiny. Every time I've tried to grow it, it's died. So this is the first time that it's gone this long without dying. And just on the opposite side of the arch here is mostly echinacea in here. And a little butterfly bush. This one puts on purple blooms. And I'm not having luck with the pumpkins this year. I don't want to go on a rant here, but it's not working. I'm pretty sure that the chipmunks took the seeds because I have like zero germination. And it's been like 2 weeks. This has never happened to me. I think I might have to actually buy starts, because I've tried like several rounds now of planting pumpkins and even covering them with stuff, and they just keep not emerging. It's very upsetting. But it'll be fine. I do have a couple volunteers. This one in the pot here is a volunteer, and then I have a couple more over there. But I think that I might have to buy starts. It's like embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. All right, let's swing around to the moon garden where it is a little bit shadier. It's already so hot right now. I do have some spooky dianthus that's blooming, but it's a little bit toppled over. That is no surprise in my garden. So, but aren't they cool looking? Love the blooms on these. And the penstemon is in bloom still. It's always reaching. But God, I love this plant so much. This is definitely one of my top 10 perennials. This is Blackbeard penstemon. There's still some pansies blooming. This is a bit of a disaster. I, once again, really overplanted this with sweet peas, and I thought they kind of climb on each other and then up the thing. That didn't really happen. They just kind of toppled over, so I'm like just trying to hold them up however I can. But I don't know. We probably have to scrap those soon. We have a couple of white hydrangeas here. Sorry about my bag. I was using that to sit on for weeding. And then these Dusty Millers, they came back from last year, which is awesome, because I bought a bunch more for the newer moon garden, and I'm really hoping those will come back. That'd be so cool. There's not a whole lot going on in here right now. These are chrysanthemums that are white. They bloom way later. And then right over here, this is an elderberry. It does have one bloom on it. And these lungworts are super huge. I just planted those last year. But they're more of a early season bloomer. So right now they kind of act as like hostas for me. And they're way prettier, in my opinion. It is getting hard to keep up with the weeding. If you have a big garden, I'm sure you understand. So some of the areas are a little bit out of control. I'm doing my best here. This is a dappled willow. Looking gorgeous. They look pretty all year round. Well, yeah, all year round. But really early spring is my favorite when the new growth is coming out, because it has like a pinkish hue. And back here, this is a black lace elderberry that I just planted, a little tiny one last year. This one's really starting to grow. That's exciting. I think I'm going to take this azalea and just trim the top portion of it before it's too late in the season to do pruning, just so you can see that black lace better. And then a bunch of hydrangeas. They're not in bloom yet. If you have been with me, you know this section of the garden is really better in spring. It's starting to slow down now. Okay, coming around to the shed beds. This hydrangea is starting to bloom. This one is usually my best bloomer in the whole garden for some reason. I think it just really likes this spot. Coming out very blue this year. They vary. Everybody knows, yeah. It can vary. And then we've got some sedum in here. These hardy geranium are still looking beautiful. They look so full. I love it. That is such a fun plant to me. You can see how hot it is by these hydrangeas. It's like 8:30 in the morning right now. And they are already drooping. They're hot. And they'll be okay because the sun doesn't really hit them for that long. But anyway, in here I have this. This is a black velvet that I started from seed, saved seed from last year. This is a pumpkin that volunteered, and it does have a female on it already, so that's exciting. Just have to be so careful with the pumpkins so they don't get infested with bugs. The nemesis of the pumpkin gardener. So many bugs. But yeah, here's my empty pumpkin area. I have a couple of hollyhocks here that came back from last year. They're biennial, so they came back. But I did have them planted down the whole row, so only these two came back, which is too bad. And then I have tomatoes over here. And I believe I planted Black Beauty. And I don't know what the other one is, but it's Aroma, which are my favorite. And then these two are volunteers also. So I'm not sure what kind of pumpkins they are, but there are two here. And these other huge leaves, this is a salvia, a type of salvia that is going to have like a whitish purple bloom. I cannot wait for them to bloom. And in the front, these white petunias I grew from seed, and look how big they are. Look how huge these petunias are. That's kind of crazy. We just got a bunch of wood chips done. Not everything, but we got a bunch done, so I'm really happy with how this is looking. Much better. It's coming along. I know it's gonna take a while to get there, but we have big plans for this, so it's gonna look awesome in the end. I'm gonna move this spirea. I have a spot for it in the front. I just want more of a moon garden feel over here, and this is pink, so it's got to go. But the bird keeps adding sticks to this. I've seen him go in and out with the sticks, but like it's just sticks. There's no fluff or anything. I don't know. I don't know what they're planning there. But I'd love for them to use it as a nest. That'd be great. All right, over to this area. There's my Crocs. I have a clematis on here and a Virginia creeper. It keeps falling over. I think it's finally in there good now, but it's been suffering a little bit. So anyway, I have a bunch of Dusty Miller planted at the front of this bed. This is another one that the weeds are kind of out of control, but a lot of it is the ageratum reseeding itself. So just have to stay on top of that. And then I do have some petunias planted between, or kind of behind, the Dusty Miller. So I got some boxwoods back here. There's not a whole lot to see in this bed right now. This did reseed itself from last year. Hang on. Let's swing around this way. This is a blue bachelor's button that reseeded itself, so I let that stay. I think blue is okay in the moon garden. I like that idea. And then the daisies are oxeye daisies. They come up like weeds in our garden. And I love them, so I leave them pretty much wherever they come up. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up because it is hot. But I have some agastache here. Actually, this one's an agastache, I think, and the other one is a bee balm. They look very similar though. And then these are the bachelor's buttons that are on their way. And on the other side, I just planted this up. This is an old wheelbarrow that we had, and I'm sure you've seen this on like Pinterest or whatever. I was like, let me do that. I think it came out pretty good. I'm going to talk more about it in my other video. I'm making 2 videos today because I've been way behind, I know. And then behind these I have these are cornflower, white cornflower, but they look just like the bachelor's buttons. I swear they're the same thing. If you know, let me know. And then these petunias are should all be like a variant of purple. So far they are. And those are all from seed. So that's pretty much the backyard. And I guess maybe, you know, if it doesn't get too gross and droopy in the front, I'll try to get that done too. But I thank you so much for joining me in this video, and I hope you'll stick around if you're new. Hit the subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!